Good morning, everyone. Hope my voice is reaching to you.
Good morning, sir. Your voice is audible.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
Your voice is audible.
Thank you, ma'am. So, today, as sir has already specified to me that we have to go through the SQL commands. Most probably, inshallah, we'll try to see almost all the SQL commands one after the other. And we'll try to also work around practically how they will be utilized on Oracle's SQL command prompt. So I'm just waiting for 2 minutes more for remaining participants to join up. Quite a good number of participants are there. Around 57 students are there here. Waiting for a few more. Within 2 minutes, we'll start up. Yes, Saket, that beep sound is with regard to the number of participants who are joining back. I'm getting the notification in the beep sound. So anyway, the first point that I would like to just put in forth is with regard to what we are going to learn. Uh, with for each and every command, we need to have certain basics what we have understood from the previous units. I was dealing the same subject currently for the fifth semester also, and for all the topics. The syllabus, I hope, is almost the same. Your syllabus is little lesser than. I have kept all the recordings of my classes onto the YouTube channel, and if you feel any inconvenience or if you feel any doubt or something like that with regard to the subject, then you can refer back to the videos I have kept. You can even ask your seniors to share the slides. They will be sharing the slides to you, fifth semester seniors. So do feel free to utilize the material that is available with your seniors. They will help you in that regard. Okay. So in today's class, we are mostly concentrating on the different SQL commands which are available in order to work with the database. So I hope the agenda of our class is very clear for you people. So, is this slide also visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Good. So let's try to see what are the SQL commands. SQL commands are some sort of instructions that we give for the software which is meant for database saving and retrieval. That software is called as DBMS, Database Management System. And SQL are the commands, are the instructions which we give to the database software so that the database software can look for the command, interpret it, understand what the command means, retrieve the data, answer that particular command, and send the data back to us. That data will be either the table that we are looking for, or it may be some computational value that we asked for computing the database, or some sort of information telling whether the command worked properly or not. Okay, there will be three type of responses. One will be the values that are retrieved from the table. Second will be the computational value. Suppose if there is some value for salary, let us imagine salary was 10,000. Now I am trying to just put 10,000 into 500. I should get somewhere around 50 lakhs. That particular value should be displayed back to me. So whatever computational value is there, that may be retrieved back, or the DBMS software may return back some sort of message, confirmation message, telling that suppose if I was trying to insert a particular row in the table, whether that row got inserted properly or not, how many rows got inserted will be told back to me by the DBMS software, telling that one row got inserted, two rows got inserted. Suppose I'm trying to have a updation in the table, updation to the already existing value. How many rows got updated? That data will also be coming back. That information will also be coming back. So these SQL commands are basically instructions given to the database software so that the database software can compile it, can understand it, and do some operation for us on the database and give back any of the three types of responses. So these SQL commands are little bit lengthier. Number of commands are there. We have splitted these commands based on what do they perform. Based on their activity, what type of work they perform, we have categorized them into four different categories. How many different categories? Four different categories. Those four different categories are based on what operation they perform. Okay, they are categorized based on what operation do they perform. For example, if a particular set of commands is there, PDF is empty. I did not get you, Bhargav. I did not share any PDF. We're talking about the screen. Yeah, the thing is, yeah, the thing is, before I start any topic, I will be just giving the glimpse of that one, the basic information about it, so that whatever we try to see will be easily understood by us. Okay. So I will not be presenting all the content one after the other and try to read out what is there written. Do not expect that from me. I'll first discuss what is the main theme behind that particular topic. Then I will put forth the text in front of you so that you can go through it. Uh, with regard to the voice, I'm sorry, ma. I was recently affected by the fever, and due to the continuous classes, I was daily taking around 4 or 5 classes, around 6 hours type of classes daily. So it became a sore throat now. Please do tolerate it. I think the recording is also being done, so if any problem is there, you can just refer back in the recording. Is it clear now? Fine. So let's not waste the time on to such type of things. What we were discussing about it, suppose if there are certain type of commands which are going to create a new entity in the database, create a new particular details in the database, then those type of commands which are going to create something new are considered as data definition language commands. What they are considered as data definition language commands. Okay, but there are certain kind of commands which will try to manipulate whatever data is already stored in the database. Those type of commands are called as DML commands, data manipulation language commands. But there are certain commands which will help us to whether to save the changes permanently on the hard disk or not to save those changes permanently on the hard disk. If you want to save the changes permanently on the hard disk, then you have got certain commands. If you don't want to save them and if you want to track back from whatever changes were done, you want to undo whatever changes were done, then you can undo that operations also by using a rollback command. We have got a command called as rollback. Okay, but there are certain other categories of commands which will help us to perform a particular operation either totally, either in totality, or if something goes wrong in between the computation, that entire operation should not get performed. Those type of commands are called as transactional control commands. Those type of commands are called as what? Transaction control command. So altogether, how many types of commands we have seen? First category, the ones which are going to define new things in the database. DDL commands, data definition language commands. Second, the one which is going to manipulate the already existing data for us, that are considered to be DML commands. Third, the ones which are going to either save the data permanently on the database or they are going to make a undo operation for us, undo to a particular position, to a particular bookmark. That particular operations are called as data control language commands. Are called as what? Data control language commands, DCL. There are certain other category of commands which will help us to perform the operation in totality, or else if any part of the operation fails, then the entire operation should be undone. That particular operations are called commands are called as transaction control commands. So altogether we have got 4 categories. Okay, can anyone just list them out in the chat box? DTL, DML, yes, transaction control commands, TCL and DCL. Very good. So, with regard to DDL, very nice, very nice, very nice. With regard to DDL, we have got these many different kinds of commands. First category of command is create command, which will altogether create a new definition for us. Which will altogether create a new definition for the database. There is another command called as alter command. This alter command will alter already existing definition in the database. Already existing definition in the database. Drop command will delete the definition from the database. Okay. Third one, rename, will rename that particular definition for us in the database. Truncate is very similar to drop. Drop will permanently delete the definition of the database as well as the content of the database. Whatever database entity we are mentioning to drop now, that particular entity's definition will be gone as well as its data will also be gone. Truncate will only delete the data of that particular entity but will not delete the definition of that particular entity. Okay, so there is a small difference between truncate and drop. Very small difference. We'll try to see when we try to work on practically. The second set of commands, DMLs, these are select. This select is meant for retrieving the data from the database. Retrieving means fetching the data from the database, asking the database server to give us back whatever data we are asking using the select command. Here, insert is trying to insert another set of data values in the database. We are not defining anything new. We are trying to insert a value inside the database.
ఏంటిది?
Update is going to make a change into the value which is already existing in the database. And delete will delete a particular value. Okay? Delete, truncate, and drop. They are very similar, but there is a slight difference between them. We'll see them when we work around with the tables, database tables. TCL, transaction control commands, which will make a particular operation to happen in totality or not to happen in totality. They are commit, rollback, and save point. They are commit, rollback, and save point. Data control language commands, they are grant and revoke. Either you will grant the permission to access the data or you will revoke the permission to access the data. From whom we are revoking, to whom we are granting, to a particular user. To a particular user. Is this point clear? So how many commands are there in DTL? Can anyone write it down? Number of commands that are there in the DTL? 5, absolutely. How many commands are there in DML? 4. Good. TCL? 3. DCL? 2. Got it now? Now, I will give you one shortcut how to remember them. Just remember this sequence. DTL, DML, TCL, DCL. DTL, DML, TCL, DCL. 5, 4, 3, 2. All in decreasing order. 5, 4, 3, 2. That's all. You can easily remember them. Okay? Done? Now, let's not waste much time. Let us try to create something in our database. So, let us have that particular thing first. How do I create those things? And what are those things actually? In our database, we are learning about relational database. There are various types of databases. And one of the type of database is relational database, where everything will be saved inside the database in terms of relation. And a relation is nothing but a table containing rows and columns. Is this point clear? So, in order to work around with these things, we will be using a Oracle server. We will be using what? Oracle server. So, what is there in the Oracle server? Let us try to see. When we start the Oracle, when we go for our start command prompt, we will have a folder called as Oracle 11G. When we install this particular software, you will get this folder, Oracle 11G Express Edition. And in this particular folder, you will have a set of utilities which you can use to work with your database. And one of the utilities, run SQL command line. This is the utility which we will use for typing our commands, which we will be using for typing our commands. Okay. I think the text in this particular black window is very small for you. So let me just enhance it out. I hope it's visible now. Can you see the command prompt? Good. So, first thing, let us start creating a table for us. How do we create a table? By using a create command. We are defining what is there to be in the table, right? So how do we start doing it? We'll start using a create command. What do we want to create? Table. Fine. These two are the keywords. What is the name of the table that you wanted to create? I wanted to create a table with regard to students. Let us imagine. I want to create a table called as student. Student, let us say student details, the table name. Now, based on what do you want to create this particular student table? What are the features of the student that you are looking for? What should be the attributes of the student? One of the attribute of the student will be the student's PIN number. Another will be student's name. Another will be student's marks. Subject 1, subject 2, subject 3. Let us take only 3 subjects. Okay. Then the total of the marks, then average of the marks. Or else let us say percentage of the marks. Is it fine? So how many attributes we have taken into consideration? PIN number, name, marks 1, marks 2, marks 3, total and percentage. Altogether 7 things, 7 attributes. These 7 attributes will become 7 columns for the table. Will become 7 columns for the table. Is it clear? But for each of the column, we need to mention what is the name of the column as well as what is the data type, the type of data that the column is going to contain. Okay, we need to define those things. So we'll have the opening and closing parenthesis. We'll list the columns inside it. So what are the columns? Let us try to list them. We have got first as PIN number. What type of data do you want to save inside it? It is going to contain, let us say, integer, but integer is going to save only numerical values. You have got CM, let us say your own number, CM026 here. So 19054 CM026. 19054 numerical value, CM alphanumerical, alphabets. Absolutely. You will try to use varchar. Varchar is the data type which is going to allow us to give numerical as well as alphabetical data inside it. So how many digits are there inside your PIN number? Can anyone just help me out? How many characters are there in your PIN number? 19054 hyphen CM hyphen 000. Altogether how many? 12 characters are there. Correct? So how many characters are to be there in that particular PIN number? We need to mention those things also. And what is this varchar 2? Why I'm using not only varchar? Why I'm using varchar 2? Because in case of varchar data type, there are two versions of it. One is one was varchar, which was having some limitations. And later on, it was modified and brought up in the Oracle database as a second version of the varchar. So this 2 here, this 2 is just representing the second version of the varchar. I hope it's fine. So first of the data attribute, tables attribute, column was PIN number. Second one, what's the second one? Name of the student, right? Just give me 2 minutes, I'll be back again. I hope you people are able to hear my voice back again. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So the second column was with regard to the name, right? Thank you. So name also I am taking as varchar. Let us say some number of characters like 20 characters wide number name. It's enough, I hope so. Then the third column was with regard to subject one, and marks will be not alphanumerical, they will be just numbers. Let us say uh, maximum marks are 100, let us keep it as 3 digits. Then comes our subject 2. Again, it will be number of, let us say, 3 digits. Then subject 3, number of, let us say, 3 digits wide. Total, let me push it into second line. This 2 is representing the second line. This 2 over here is representing the second line. Since the data was going beyond this corner, I just kept it in the second line. I can even split that particular command into multiple lines. There is no issue. Okay, don't get confused. What is this 2? 2 represents the second line over here. So other columns left out are total. Add up the 3-digit numbers, they may become to 4 digits with. So I'm taking as 4. Then percentage, let us say it will be fractional value, right? So I'm taking 5 comma 2. बस क्लास में था अभी. ओके चलो मैं थोड़ा क्लास होते ही कॉल करता हूँ. चलो बाय. So what do I get the response as? What is 5 comma 2? 5 comma 2, whenever you have got fractional values, you will try to say after decimal digits how many after decimal point how many digits do you want to have. So I want to have 2 digits after decimal point. So altogether there should be how many digits, including the 2 decimal point digits? Altogether how many? So I am thinking altogether 5. So there will be 5 digits altogether. So before decimal point 3 digits, after decimal point 2 digits. No, Saket, you are wrong. It's not 7. 3 digits before decimal point, 2 digits after decimal point, altogether how many? 5. Is this point clear? Good. Now what is the answer that I got? What is the response from the database server that I got? It said not connected. What do I mean by that? Oracle is a secure database. It will not allow you to perform whatever query you wish to perform unless you are an authentic user. So first of all, we have to say that yes, we are authentic user by connecting on to that particular database using the username and password. So I'm telling to connect using the username which has been already created called as system, and it will ask for the password then. The password I am entering, what happened? The password wasn't displayed. Whatever I entered did not even got displayed up. Okay, at least asterisks, and those are not displayed. Remember, Oracle is very secure database. It will not even list out how many digits are there in your password, how many characters are there in your password. It will not replace them with asterisks. It will just read the data without even displaying anything. So that if someone is trying to peep from your shoulder and try to sense, okay, there are 3-digit password, what can this person keep? Let us keep his name's shortcut. Something they can sense out. from the number of digits. That's why the oracle says we will not even reveal how many alphabets are there in that password. Is it fine? So we got connected. Now let us perform our task. I'm getting the previously typed commands. How I am getting it? It's because Oracle SQL command prompt, SQL command line command prompt, it will hold whatever you have typed previously in a historical record. That historical record data we can access by using the up and down arrow keys on your keyboard. So as you press up, it will give you what were the previously typed commands. As you press next, from this command, what are the next typed commands on words? So let me start with this one. The next line that we typed was this one. So what's the response that I am getting? Database is telling table got created successfully. Created, right? Now, table got created due to this command. So let us try to understand this command once again with a clarity. This create is the command, DDL command. It will define a new definition for the table. Define a new definition for whatever we are trying to do here. What we are trying to do here, we are trying to create a table. So we need to mention to the create what we are trying to do. So I wrote over here a keyword called as table, telling the create command that I am trying to create a table. Okay, then it says what is the name of the table. I need to mention that name of the table here. Then within the opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis, I have to mention a list of columns along with their data types, separated with commas. Separated with what? Commas. Is it fine? So altogether, what we did here is we created a table called as student details. Let us try to see what are the contents of the table. What is the table composed of? What are the data inside it? So to retrieve the data inside a table, I have to use a DML command called as select. What command I have to use? I have to specify the select command, which is a DML command, in order to see what is the table going to contain. Now for the select, I will mention what column values do I want to take out from the database. I'm interested in reading the PIN number as well as name. I am interested in reading these values. So from which table? From what's the table name? Student details. I hope the same name. So no rows selected. Why? Because we just defined the table. We have not kept any value inside it. Isn't so? Have you inserted any value inside the table? No. That's why it has said no rows selected. It is able to select any number of rows. It will display those many number of row values to us, and it will say how many rows were selected. Is it clear? So again we will perform the same SQL select statement, but after inserting some values. So now how to insert some values? The second command in DML, you have to use a keyword select insert command, insert into which table you wanted to insert. I wanted to insert the values into std student details. Into which columns you want to insert the values? I want to insert for PIN number, I want to insert for name, I want to insert for subject 1, I want to insert the values for subject 2, I want to insert the values for subject 3. So what are the values that you wanted to insert? Values for the PIN number. Exactly, you have to mention the values in this sequence only. Do remember, I have not taken all the columns here. I have taken only till subject 1, subject 2, subject 3. So total and percentage should actually be calculated using subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, right? And this should be automatically calculated by the computer itself for us. I'm thinking in that particular perspective. That's why I have not mentioned total and average. Okay, so I'm trying to insert PIN number, name, subject 1 marks, subject 2 marks, subject 3 marks. So in that sequence only we will try to enter the values. So let us say pin number, it was varchar, right? What was the data type that we used for pin number? Varchar. So whenever we used varchar, we have to keep the values in single quote. Only and only for varchar and char, we have to keep the values in single quote. So in single quote, what should be the number? 19054 CM. Let us say, don't ask me whose pin number is that. Let us say name is A, subject 1, subject 2 and subject 3, they are numbers, so I am not keeping them in single quotes. Let us say out of 100, first marks is 90, 98, 85, 87. Okay, our target is over. So what we have typed here, insert into student tables, student underscore details. For these list of columns, values that are to be inserted are these. Press enter, one row created. Okay, like this, I want some more. Please quickly help me out in mentioning the numbers here. Don't think about the pin numbers, I don't know whose pin number are those, but just give me some random values so that I can help them out in giving the marks. Oh no. I'm not getting any values here. Can we see the actual representation of this data like that of MS Access? Yes. You wanted to get to know how many values are stored in the database, right? Yes, you can have it. Definitely. Earlier we tried to do the same thing, but there were no values inside it. That's why it gave me no rows selected. Now, for that reason only, we are first inserting the values and then we will try to see what values are being inserted. But one more thing, like that of your MS Access, this Oracle run command prompt, command line is not graphical. It will not list up the rows and columns to you as soon as you type on. You have to use the commands to insert and retrieve the data. Okay? There are various reasons for not having the graphical user interface. If you want to have a graphical user interface type of command tool, then you can work around with, let me just show you. You can work around with get started and you can create the table in a graphical command prompt, but that is not how a database developer will learn. And when you become a computer science graduate, the fastness of command prompt is much higher than graphical user. So do not think that graphical user interfaces will be taught to you and you are not expected to learn on those. So let's not waste the time here. Give me some marks. 3 rows have been inserted. Let us check what are the values inside those things back again. Will it give us some table or not? Yes, I was looking for what columns? I was looking for pin number and name. Out of all the columns, I was just interested in getting to know what are the pin numbers and what are the names. What if I want to get to know all the values of all the columns? What should be the select command for me? When you wanted to have all the columns to be listed up, you need not mention all of them. You just need to mention asterisks instead of the column names. You just need to mention what? Asterisks instead of the column names. It will list up all the columns for you and it will list all the rows values pertaining to it. Remember here percentage got in this new line. So after this roll number, whatever will be returned will be with regard to the percentage. But since there are no values inside it, we are not having any value inside the percentage. Okay. Whatever values are going to come after below pin number, this percentage has been written. So below pin number, this percentage value will be written. Is it fine? So in order to retrieve all the column values, we will use select star from student name. This is the command that you have to use. Similarly, if you want to have a particular student's details to be known, for example, name, I'm looking for a particular student called as A. How to have that particular filtering? I don't want all the values. I don't want whole of the table. I just want the details about the student A. So anyway, we are trying to retrieve from the database. So we will mention all the columns we are interested in for that student A. So I'm using select star from student underscore details. But I'm not interested in all the values. I'm interested in that particular student whose name is A. So I will mention a condition here that select star from student details table where the column name is equal to A. Wherever the value of the name column is equal to A, select only that particular row. So what happened? Just give me the details about A student. The student whose name is A, that particular student's details have been listed to me. Okay. Now total and percentage both are blank. I have to have this total value and percentage value, something, right? And it should be calculated for all the three rows. How do we use it? In order to get that particular thing, already values are existing. We have to use them to compute the values. We have to set the values of this particular row for this particular row and for this particular row and for this particular percentage value for this particular percentage value. For all these, we have to set the values, right? Update, set total equal to subject 1 plus subject 2 plus subject 3. Okay, but of what table? We have to mention that thing also. Update table. What is the table name? Student underscore details. Set total equal to so and so. Let us try with this one. Invalid. Why? I was trying to use the keyword over the table, but it says no need of this particular table keyword now. It was used while you were defining it. While defining, you said that that particular this name is going to be used as a table name. But once it has been defined, no need of that one. Again give the error. Why? Instead of underscore, we used a hyphen. Remember, I am making these mistakes willingly so that you will get to know where you can make a mistake, where you are usually expected to make a mistake. What it gave? 3 rows updated. Has it actually updated? Let's check it back. Don't. Let us say for student A, yeah, we got the total updated. But what about percentage? Percentage will be what? Total divided by number of subjects. Total divided by number of subjects or total of maximum marks of these subjects. Be fast. I'm very weak in mathematics. You should help me out. Since we are updating the value, we have to use the command update command, right? Total by 300 into 100. Total by, I am very weak in mathematics. Don't give me dual answers. One is telling total divide by number of subjects. One is telling total divide by 300 into 100. Which one is correct? As far I remember, total divided by the maximum marks of the subjects, sum of maximum marks of the subject into 100. If I am not wrong. Divide by number of subjects will give you the average. Right? So, we are trying to update here percentage. Set percentage equal to, we have got total calculated up, right? So no need of writing that subjects. Total divided by sum of maximum marks is 300. Let us try to keep them in parentheses into, 100. This is our formula. 3 rows got updated again. Let us see our table altogether, not just for one particular row. What command we have to type? Select. I want all the column values, so I am using asterisk. From which table? Student underscore details. Got it done now? Okay, so I think only 1 minute or 2 minutes are left out for this session to close up.